Well, hello everyone, once again. Welcome to Improv Bible Study with JunkshopLibrary. We turn today to the 29th chapter of the book of Genesis. Make sure to hear it and hit that thumbs up button so that I know if you like what you see. Let's see what hijinks we get up to today. Then Jacob went on his journey, and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field. And lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it, for out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Out of Haran we are. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well, and behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot, until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldst thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening, that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Did I not serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be done so in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet another 7 years. And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid, to be her handmaid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet another 7 years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived, and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, Surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction, now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, Because the Lord hath heard I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, Now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have bore him 3 sons. Therefore his name was Levi. And she conceived again, and bore a son, and she said, Now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing. Genesis chapter 29. Okay then. So Jacob, having had his dream of the ladder reaching to heaven, keeps on going to the east, has a lengthy conversation, full of repetition, about which I shall not complain, because it was not verbatim, has a lengthy conversation with the shepherds, finds out that they serve the man he's related to, that he's come all this way to stay with, to A, avoid being murdered by his angry brother, and B, find a wife among the tents of. I don't want to diagram that sentence, but I think it's close to standing. So he stays with his uncle Laban a month, and after a month, Laban says, "You don't show any signs of moving on, and, you know, you will be doing things around here, and I don't aim to keep you here just without compensating you, because we're related." Notice he does throw that in. "Since thou art my sister's son, shall I take thy labor for nothing?" He says, "But tell you what, just tell me what you think fair recompense will be for your service, and we can work something out." And Jacob says, "I want your good-looking daughter. Not the older one, the younger one. I want the younger one, the good-looking one, not the weak of eye one." And Laban says, "Okay, we can do that." And Jacob says, "I'll work for you for 7 years if you give me your younger daughter." Laban says, "I can deal with that." Well, 7 years fly by in the twinkling of an eye, because Jacob is so much in love with the younger daughter, Rachel. And come the wedding night, Laban takes the older daughter, not the one Jacob has been pining after for 7 years, but the older one that he didn't have any interest in, and ushers her into the tent under the cover of night, and goes away giggling to himself, presumably. And Jacob goes in unto Leah, and wakes up the next morning and rolls over and says, "Ah, it's good to be married, isn't it?" Bah! And he goes and seeks the counsel of his father-in-law and says, "All right, I worked for you for 7 years for Rachel, your good-looking younger daughter, and I woke up this morning and found out that she was not the woman you brought to my tent last night." And Laban says, "Well, not to pass any judgment upon how quickly you rushed into your husbandly duties, but, dude, seriously? I mean, it's not the way we do things around here. The eldest must be married first. But if I can get another 7 years' work out of you, then you can have the other daughter." Jacob says, "That seems fair to me." So he works another 7 years. And after he finally gets to marry Rachel, he finds out that both of his wives are barren. You know, sleeping with one woman for 7 years and then marrying a second and continuing to perform his duties as the man of the house. It of course must be that both of them are barren. These women he's courted so genteelly as to work for their father for 7 years each. But since Rachel was the one he wanted all along, he's really more broken up about that. And when God finds out that he doesn't like the older one, he opens her womb, not liking or loving Leah in the common sense is apparently not enough to keep Jacob from knowing Leah in the biblical sense. And she proceeds to produce offspring for Jacob just all over the place. And after each one, she thinks to herself, oh, another son. Surely he'll love me now. Never does happen. So, 4 sons, and she left bearing. And we don't have any idea what's going on with Rachel, but we will find out when we reconvene for chapter 30. Make sure you have your notifications on. You won't want to miss that when it rolls around. I hope y'all are enjoying our time together. Make sure and share these with anyone you feel might find them interesting, informative, or funny. We could all use a little more funny in our lives these days. As always, the rest of the playlist with the previous chapters should be right down here. If you're just now joining us, make sure and catch up. And make sure to subscribe. We'll see y'all again soon. Take care.